You are listening to Single Smart Female. This is Jen, explaining the possibilities in your love life and examining your Mantourage dating experiences. I am here to help you do life and love on your terms by tipping the scales of love permanently in your favor. So don't forget to text this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends, and let's get started. Hello, lover girl. It's your romantic fairy godmama, and today we have a romantic fairy godmama quickie for you. Now, today's topic is why do men always or never wife you up? Okay, so we're going to go on both sides of that coin and talk about why it is they do wife you up and why it is they don't wife you up. Like these women that are always talking about why are men, they're frustrated with men always wifing them up and treating them, like they're already in a relationship, and women who feel like men never do that and never really see them as wife potential. So mainstream tendency is to tell you what men are looking for and try to get you to fit yourself into whatever men are looking for so that you can either get them to do what you want them to do, meaning you want them to wife you up or you want them to stop. And it's really, really tedious way to approach dating, and it's exhausting and very transactional. If you've heard me talk about transactional dating before, it is the most ridiculous and unfun way to date long term. And it has some momentary exhilarating points to it. It's great, like if you feel like you've won one, but it's something that you have to maintain forever. And I wouldn't do it if my life depended on it. That's why I love Mantourage dating, because it's a lifestyle. It's not you trying to figure men out all the time. And right now, we're actually not going to talk about why, like what men and what they think their motives are. And we're actually going to talk about what's going on with you, which is what their response to you is without even realizing it. Stuff that's actually internal in you. So if you're always being wifed up, there's a couple reasons. A couple big reasons. I'm sure there's lots of little reasons, but we're just going to go for the big ones today. And the big one is because you agree to relationships too soon. Now, I've heard this from family members. I've heard this from women. I've heard this for years. And it's all like, I don't like dating more than one man. It's this, it's that. I'm just a relationship kind of girl. Okay, lots of people are relationship kind of people, but that doesn't mean you should be dismissive of getting there too, and that you should be more discerning. Discerning, that's the word I'm looking for. You need to be more discerning about getting into a relationship, all right? Just because he's got his attention on you, it feels like high quality attention. It's a lots of attention, and he really, really wants you. That's not a reason to get into a relationship. But this happens a lot with women who get wifed up a lot because they go straight into these relationships too soon because they're not that kind of girl. They're just a relationship kind of girl. And it doesn't work out over and over again. Then now, granted, this will even be, I am talking about women who they'll spend years in these relationships and it'll fall apart anyways. And then they'll go straight into another one. They'll just go from relationship to relationship to relationship. And it's never really, truly working out. The other thing is these girls have a really, really bad tendency, and this happens super frequently, that they tolerate and ignore all kinds of jealous or poor behavior or actual red flags. Why? Because, again, they are relationship kind of girls, and they're not going to explore their options in dating and really see things for what they are. A lot of them have a really hard time setting the pace, so they let men set the pace of how things go, and they let it happen super, super fast. So these men, and it's usually 50% of these men are actually just very domineering men, and if you paced them, they would respect it, but there are lots of them, and this is actually a very dangerous scenario, and why women get into, I hate to say it, let me make it clear, I'm not trying to blame women. I don't think women are educated about this. But they get into these dangerous scenarios with abusive men because they don't take the time to get into these relationships. They allow them to happen very fast, so they miss a lot of really big warning signs that Mantourage dating itself brings out. Mantourage dating, the way that I help women work through these signs, men have to be patient. And you automatically get to see
the potential danger in somebody right away because they have to be patient. All right. When they don't have to be patient and they can just consume you, you set yourself up for really poor results, and sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes very dangerous situations. I had a client when I first started years ago. She actually became a close friend of mine, and she was a woman who said, she just did not want to set a pace with a man, and it turned into a dangerous situation quite fast, and she ended up showing up at my house in the middle of the night, and I had to tell the man to back down. And at that point, I told her, never again. If you're not going to listen to me, never again. And it was so frustrating because this woman, she was smart. She was incredibly beautiful. She was very, very smart, but she didn't want to have to develop boundaries around that and pacing, and really just wanted to go with the hot chemistry and just kind of fall into somebody's arms and just being taken care of forever. Well, do those kind of situations work out sometimes? Yes, but a lot less than most women think. So as a woman, I think it's really important to learn this skill set so that you can decide what type of relationship you really want to have, because you have options to step into. Okay? So we're going to go into the he never wifes you up scenario. And I want to say with the most love I possibly can, because it's going to come out harsh no matter what I say. But basically, what's happening here, when somebody never wants a relationship with you, when any of the guys you date never goes into a relationship, I'm going to tell you right now, there's something very desperate in your energy that's coming out in your interactions with these men. Is it just the type of men you're picking? That's a component, but it's not the full picture. It is literally there's something desperate about your energy. Or some women go in the opposite extreme and they try to act too hard like they don't care. Men are not looking for a woman who doesn't give a shit at all. They like to know a woman actually likes them. They want to be liked by a woman that reciprocates those feelings. What they don't want is somebody that they feel is overly clingy and needy at the beginning before they've really gotten the chance to fall for her. So that's really, really important. So, and these women tend to hook up sexually too soon when they're not really ready yet. They don't really feel like they have a true connection yet. These women tend to need to have really good sex, that soul promoting sex. They need to know that this man cares about them, but they don't usually wait till they have real evidence, longer term evidence of that. And they're violating their own sexual time frame. And we talk about that a lot. And your sexual time frame is important. His isn't as important. Guys want to have sex usually a lot sooner. More guys are starting, and I like this trend, more guys are starting to wait longer, but guys tend to want sex sooner than women, but a lot of women will just give into it when they aren't really truly ready. I had a beautiful, brilliant client once who would do this a lot, and she hated men because of it, because she wasn't really wanting the sex part. She was wanting the connection part, and she was using sex to get there, and then they would, just disappear on her and just crap out on her. And it was so painful to watch her do this over and over again, even though I told her exactly what we're talking about right now. And it was like, it would resonate for a little bit, and then it was just gone. And we'd go to the next scenario, to the point that I told her I wasn't able to do that with her anymore, because I didn't want to watch her, witness her suffer like that if she wasn't, at least going to try. Again, brilliant woman, very, very successful, extremely beautiful. She literally had it all, except she was going into these sexual scenarios sooner than she really, truly wanted to deep down in her soul. Now, what do both of these women have in common? The one who always gets wifed up and the one who never gets wifed up. They actually have in common, and I mentioned it before, but poor boundaries. Really poor boundaries when it comes to men. Boundaries are imperative. If you want an amazing relationship, you have to start practicing your boundaries during dating, okay? If you want crappy relationships again and again and again, or a long-term crappy relationship, have no boundaries. They don't work. Now, there are walls, which are like excessive boundaries, and those don't work either. But I'd rather you have a wall and bring it down versus have no boundaries at all, because women who have boundaries at all have a significantly harder time. Now, if you have boundary issues, it is something you need to address, and you need to address it right away. It is a huge factor in both of these different scenarios. And in fact, if you need help with it, I want you to go get help with it. I have a free class on boundaries at datingboundaries.com. And I want you to address these immediately. Like, this isn't something to let go on any longer. This is like a danger zone for you of having your heart repeatedly broken over and over and over again, or in the case of being wifed up all the time, having a love life that just perpetually sucks.
Hey, Lover Girl. Thanks for joining me today and texting this episode to all of your single smart girlfriends. If you have a question that you'd like to submit for on-air consideration or want to learn more about working with me, then meet me over at singlesmartfemale.com. See you there.